Homeward Bound, The Incredible Journey, came out in 1993 and is directed by Duwayne Dunham, who did some work on Twin Peaks before this and also some work afterwards on Beyond Belief, Fact or Fiction, which is a show I very much loved as a kid and a teenager. And this is, of course, another project into the Michael J. Fox filmography, but I'm not doing this alone. I'm actually joined by my guest today, Trav Tries. Hey everyone, what's going on? Welcome to the channel and thank you so much for tuning into this video. If you're brand new here, my name is Mike and my channel is called Did You See That? And I would love to see you again on a future video. If you can just press the red subscribe button down below, that would be awesome, and I'd love to see you here again next time. So this is a first time watch for me, and I was kind of dreading going into this movie. Now you might be thinking, well Mike, why were you dreading going into Homeward Bound? Well, it's because since September of 2020 I did have two dogs who unfortunately did pass away in such a short amount of time, and ever since then I've kind of refused to watch any movie that involved like a dog or a cat kind of movie kind of thing. So yeah, I was not looking forward to this movie for that reason. I mean, I'm glad I watched it, don't get me wrong, and we'll certainly get into that. But yeah, that was the main reason as to why I was dreading Homeward Bound, The Incredible Journey. Now, again, this is the latest installment of the Michael J. Fox filmography. We've got a voice cast here of Don, Amici, Sally Field, and of course Michael J. Fox, who voice our three main animals, because the plot of Homeward Bound, The Incredible Journey is all around three pets who think that after their owners go on holiday have abandoned them, so they set out on a quest to get back to California to get back home. So straight away you know it's going to be a tearjerker, and yeah, I'm going to be honest, I absolutely bawled my eyes out watching this movie. Yeah, the voice cast here is awesome. The three names that we have attached to this project is great. Duwayne Dunham's direction is also great as well. I will admit that this movie, it plays a lot on our human characters. I thought the human characters might have been a little bit relegated and it was more focused on kind of the two dogs and the cat, but that wasn't actually the case, because Don Amici voices Shadow. We've got Sally Field as Sassy and Michael J. Fox as Chance. Now Chance is more of like a puppy of the group as such and not as old, so Shadow is more of the wiser dog, and you can definitely tell that with the voice acting. And then of course Sally Field, who plays Sassy, voicing them. Yeah, you can just tell that the cat has obviously had some experience in life too. So it's kind of like Chance is like the outcast out of the three as such, and it's just really interesting how they go around this dynamic, because again, we've got our family and each one of the three kids have kind of like their own animal as such, or they're like the animal's favourites as such. So you've got that bond immediately in this movie. It sets out where, okay, it's explaining the situation of them going on holiday or this like temporary move or whatever it is that they're doing. And then also at the meantime, pets are kind of like, well, what's actually going on here? Because especially with Chance, for example, Michael J. Fox's voice that he does for the dog, Chance has previously been in kind of like a shelter, for example, so straight away he's kind of got like that trust issues as such, and he's not really too sure, okay, well, is this going to happen again? Have I actually got my forever home now? He's obviously not too sure, so obviously he's got that reluctancy about him, which is completely understandable. But yeah, the three pets here, fantastic voice acting, and I loved the way that they used real animals in this movie. It's absolutely crazy. Well, as far as I'm aware, it's real animals, so if I'm wrong, please put in the comment section below. Yeah, it's absolutely crazy, this journey that they go on, and it's honestly, it's heartbreaking, this journey going back home. I cried, and I was like shouting and found myself shouting at the TV, being like, no, please don't do this, you know, don't do that, or don't go there, whatever the case should be. And just throughout, I was like, you know, it was really getting to me. I've definitely got some negatives with this, but I do want to introduce my guest, who is Trav over at his channel Trav Tries, who isn't actually usually a movie review guy. He usually does a lot of food videos. That is his kind of content, but I was very intrigued to hear someone else's opinion on this, and I know here that he loves Homeward Bound. So without further ado, man, Trav, take it away and give us your thoughts on Homeward Bound, The Incredible Journey.
What's up, guys? This is Trav, and I am not back again. I almost said it. I almost said my usual intro. First time to be on Mike's channel here. My name is Trav from Trav Tries. I do not review movies. I review food, drinks, that kind of thing. Been doing it for some amount of time. But I've been quite the film buff like my whole life. And a movie like this really has a lot to do with me as a movie fan today. Homeward Bound is a movie that I definitely grew up with. It was one of those Walt Disney VHS tapes that I do believe I still have at my mom's. And one thing that I really think of when I watch this movie now as an adult with my wife is I think of my mom. Like, I think of watching movies with her. We literally had a thing when I was a kid where I watched movies with her every night, and it was usually Disney. And it's just crazy to think about how much that affected me. And it turns out a lot of other people did that as well, like Disney movie every night. But Homeward Bound was definitely a special one for me. It's something that it's kind of hard to wrap my head around what I might have thought of this as a kid. It ended up being a lot more emotionally driving than I expected, but I didn't know I was going to be as emotionally invested as an adult, if not more, because as a kid I'm just watching it as a movie with talking animals that there's no CGI or anything. They just talk. You hear the voices, but you have the animals sort of like being directed to act accordingly to what they're saying. And real quick, those of you that didn't know, it's actually based off the film An Incredible Journey, which is the subtitle of Homeward Bound. And I've honestly never seen that original movie. I don't know what happened. Like I said earlier, I would argue that it's more emotionally investing now. It's animals, man. Animals in movies is a true, just emotional driver for films. Anytime there's ever been a scene in a movie where like the villain picks up like a cat that's a character in a movie, and I just think like, please do not hurt the animal. And anytime an animal does get killed in movies or anything like that, I am more prone to cry at that and or at least get slightly choked up more than I would be a lot of people. Now, people, that kind of says a lot for people in movies, because if you make me cry because a person died, that means it really, really worked and is a really good, emotionally driven scene. So think about three animals being the main cast of a movie, so the whole time I'm just like, even though I've seen it a billion times, I'm worried for them. Yeah, Sassy the cat being played by Sally Field. And you got Chance, played by Michael J. Fox, and Shadow, played by Don, and I don't remember the dude's last name. I remember just knowing I couldn't pronounce it, so all respect to him. Another positive with this is I'm just in love with just appreciating with an adult brain. There are moments while I'm watching this where I'm like, I remember this part of the movie, but thinking outside of the box and thinking about being on set and stuff, I would not be able to believe some of the stuff that they got these animals to do. And watching this movie as an adult now made me want to just kind of do, if there's any kind of stuff online about these animals, did they play in other things and all this? And they use multiple animals in this movie to play the same characters over and over. An Incredible Journey could not be more precise with the title, because it really is. From beginning to end, you're in it. You're in it with these animals. You're in them with as characters, as these three different characters that play off of each other beautifully. The chemistry is amazing. And there's just so many good one-liners that I remember. Like, Ashley was literally quoting the movie. She knows the dialogue pretty much front to back. And I don't know it on that level, but she was really good with that. And there was some things that I really, really remembered well. Just a lot of good kind of cheesy one-liners. It's not like the best writing all the time throughout the whole movie, but you're just in it with these animals to just make it back home. And it really, really makes you appreciate your animals. We have 2 cats, and I just kind of like, I don't know, I just had this urge to pet them while watching it, because I was like, I'm so glad you guys aren't lost. I'm pretty sure anybody that's owned animals throughout their whole life or some of their life may have experienced animal loss, and this really pulls that out of you. You kind of, when I was watching this, I really thought back to like other animals I've had in my life, and just unfortunately just kind of feeling a little bit heavy, just kind of sad overall. But that's a positive, not a negative, because a movie that makes you feel something like this really makes it good. So long story short, Homeward Bound turned out to be better than expected. Watching it as an adult, it really holds up It's only like an hour and 25 minutes, so if you haven't checked this out, I would highly recommend it. And now on to my negatives real quick. The only real negatives I have, it's such a nostalgic-driven film, I just don't know what I could really pick apart other than a couple things. One being, there are moments where an animal was obviously a different animal. Like, there are moments where Sassy goes from like this big fluffy cat to this kind of smaller cat for more like agile sort of scenes where she has to cross like some logs on a river. I don't know, just different stuff like that. And there are moments where Chance becomes like a totally different like bulldog that has the same color and everything. They really did a good job of trying to disguise it. But all I'm saying is, as an adult, I notice it way more, and so it does kind of pull you out of the movie. You're kind of like, you're into it, and then you were like, and then there's just a couple moments where I'm like, wait, that dog looks really weird. Like when Chance is trying to catch a fish for the first time, there is this one dog that just has the funniest face, like funnier face than the regular Chance that you see very often in the movie. And it's hard to notice with Shadow. Shadow, like the golden retrievers, a lot of them really look very, very similar. I don't know if Shadow actually had any stunt doubles, but that's exactly what it is. There is some very noticeable stunt double animals in this movie that just kind of throw you off a little bit, but that's a minor negative. That's all she wrote, guys. I would like to thank Z for allowing me to be in this collab. I'm going to toss it back to him. Thank you guys so much for watching my segment. I guess you guys will be seeing me next time, or Z and me next time.
A big thanks to Trav over at Trav Tries for sharing his thoughts on Homeward Bound, The Incredible Journey. Absolutely loved hearing your thoughts and this journey that you've been on yourself, experiencing this movie over and over again, and how much it kind of impacted you, or kind of just emotions that it brought out of you also. It's really awesome to hear how it has. And I remember Trav was saying to me specifically that he was like, Mike, you've got to see Homeward Bound. And I also do want to add in here an apology to Trav, because Trav actually sent me his portion for this collaboration back in September of 2021, and this video is probably going to be released soon enough, near to September 2022, and it's just because I've had a lot of projects on. The Michael J. Fox filmography actually started a lot later than I expected. There's been some delays in the meanwhile, so yeah, that's definitely some contributing factors, but apologies to Trav that it has taken me a while to get this collaboration. But I loved absolutely hearing your thoughts, and in terms of the negative that Trav mentioned, and also to touch on my negatives for this movie, yeah, I agree, there's definitely an element where they use like, or look like they used like a CGI, or kind of like, I don't know what it was. There was one moment it looked a little bit unusual, to be honest, with the dog, and I know exactly what scene you're referring to, which is not too distracting, but I guess in a sense you could be like, oh, okay, well, you've kind of built this emotion throughout the movie, then you get to this one scene, you're like, oh, okay, something doesn't kind of feel quite right. But what I will say in terms of my negatives is, there's a part in this movie where the dogs are absolutely filthy dirty, right? They're in this mud. I'm not exactly going to explain the situation, but they're in this mud, right? And yeah, they're absolutely caked in mud. And then the next scene, they're absolutely clean, but there's no reason or explanation as to why. And I was like, well, that's like some kind of big continuity error here, or maybe there's a deleted scene somewhere of maybe them getting hosed down, or whatever the case should be. But there was definitely that. And I'd also say, for me personally, I think there was maybe a little bit too much human scenes in this movie. And because also, like, some of the kid acting is a little bit ropey at times. I mean, I enjoyed it, don't get me wrong. I definitely felt the connection right at the end. But some of the acting by the kids was a little bit ropey. So I would say that was kind of like my biggest negatives. And didn't necessarily took me out of the movie or anything. But certainly that little bit of connection was missing because of those facts. So again, a big thanks to Trav for joining me for this collab. Please go subscribe to his channel, which is in this description box below. Go give him some love and tell him that I sent you. In the meantime, my overall score for Homeward Bound, The Incredible Journey, is 7 out of 10. So yeah, if you've enjoyed this latest entry into the Michael J. Fox filmography, please give the video a big thumbs up, and also subscribe to the channel if you already haven't. And also, did you know that I'm on Patreon? Yeah, that's right, for only £2 per month, which is less than sometimes you pay for a coffee in the morning. You get access to early videos, my content schedules, upcoming releases. Also, you get a say in what videos you would like to see onto the channel, and there's also so much more stuff coming very soon. It's going to be totally worth joining. So I want to also give a big thank you to the awesome patrons who YouTube channels you can actually find, and please go subscribe to them. Is Jason at the Old Millennial, AJ Ford at his channel AJ Ford, Adam from What the Gym, Elliot from IMO Reviews, Tyler Babb from his channel Tyler Babb, The Rendered Image, Michael O'Brien, and Josh from Classic Reviews. So big thank you to all my awesome patrons and who help support the channel. Your support sincerely means a lot. And also thank you to anyone who is watching this video. But until the next time that I see you on this channel, I'll be seeing you later.